Well, let's change tack, something completely different for now. The theme for this year's International Women's Day is Digit-All, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. And while the Global Recognition Day was observed on Wednesday, tomorrow afternoon the Thabo Mbeki Foundation and Unisa will host the 13th International Women's Day Dialogue with a specific focus on women, tech, innovation and food security. And to tell us more, I'm joined by Geraldine Fraser-Moleketi from the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. She is also, of course, a former Public Service and Administration Minister, I think, from 1999 to 2008. Lovely to chat to you, Geraldine. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about this dialogue tomorrow and why this interesting combination of women, tech, innovation and food security. It seems like quite a lot of disparate themes to pull together.
Well, it's actually, thank you very much, firstly, Sally, and to your viewers. I would argue it's not disparate themes, because when you look at the whole issue of food security and agriculture, and we look at the leap that's required around this, it's really looking at the whole, the use and the issue of technology and innovation, as you say. Tomorrow, we're going to raise some of the fundamental questions about the role that women have and are playing in food security and the obstacles that they face in achieving this goal. What we also intend doing is looking at the importance of highlighting innovation and technology in enhancing food production. And I'm going to give you a few examples around this. So one of these examples is the fact that there's been a fund that's been set up that looks at the whole issue of support and technical assistance in the area of agriculture. And this has been done by the African Development Bank. And here we've seen younger women and younger people getting involved in the tech side. And an interesting such example is in Tunisia, where there's a research unit that consists of 5 labs in the Institute of Agriculture. And their focus has been providing solutions to agroecology and to agro-industry. And this is really 2 pillars of the Tunisian agriculture. And here, young people and a young woman has been involved in using drone technology to support increasing agricultural production. And they look at improving farm productivity. So, I mean, it's not really disparate. So just making the link, women in Africa have been involved in 50 to 60% of agriculture, but in essence have been eking out some existence in a small scale. For the past few years, there have been discussions on how to turn this around. And this year, we felt that there's a need to have a focus on how we can leapfrog this and how best to do that by bringing government players, the private sector and academia together. The discussions tomorrow and the panelists will look exactly at that. But what's really great is that we're bringing a woman scientist who've been quite involved in Africa on the agricultural research and development bid involving women scientists in particular, and that's Wanjura Kimau Rutenberg. I mean, she's a younger woman, really done outstanding work in this regard and worked across the regional communities and where they've developed solutions to really make this happen. And she's our keynote speaker tomorrow.
It sounds quite fascinating. And as you say, you know, women in Africa in particular are already very involved in farming, and this could help them to take that leap and really even develop even further in this particular sector. If people want to be part of this dialogue tomorrow, I know it kicks off at 2 o'clock. Is there can you watch it online? Do you have to be in person? Explain to me about if people want to take part in some way.
Yes, people can watch it online. I hope that one of the members of the foundation involved in this will be able to send you the link where they'd be able to join the live stream. We unfortunately are oversubscribed at this point for people who will be in physical attendance at the venue, because it takes place at Bryanston. It's a rather small venue.
I would imagine that link will probably be on the Thabo Mbeki Foundation website, most likely for tomorrow.
That's correct.
Perfect. So it's an easy one to access and important, because you are talking tech. I have to ask you a question about your previous existence as Public Service and Administration Minister. You served under Thabo Mbeki's time around 1999 to 2008. I'm sure that even though you're no longer a minister and you're no longer in that specific field, you must be watching what's happening with the Nahawu strike with a fair amount of interest. I'm wondering if you have any comment, any concern, or any thoughts on what we're seeing playing out.
So, Sally, I didn't quite expect this question. I thought you would ask me a different question.
Sorry.
So let me respond to this one. I think the Nahawu strike and the way it's playing out is very unfortunate. It's unfortunate for trade unionism, and it's unfortunate for the public service. It's unfortunate for the general public. South Africans, and the majority of South Africans, don't have the option to opt out for private, to access private services. They have to and are dependent on public services, and in particular the health sector. As you are aware, Sally, the health sector has always been a sector that was governed very differently from the rest of the public service as it related to labor relations, because it is an essential services sector. However, in 2007, when there was a major attempt to politicize this sector, we saw a strike from health workers, even though there was a possibility to take a different route, because there is a completely different arrangement in the bargaining chamber. We should never have a situation, and this is a reality in peace times and war times, where workers in the health sector are prevented to go to work, where patients are prevented from accessing services. Because whether in peace times or war times, the Red Cross and the Red Crescent should be able to cross all lines. It's completely unacceptable that workers are being prevented to enter the workplace. It's completely unacceptable that we have a reality where this sector goes on strike, because they have a different recourse. And for me, when I say this is a sad day for trade unionism, in any event, a strike action is considered the school and the last resort that members of the public service or any sector opts for when they want to make a point. I think in South Africa, we are overusing strike action. But secondly, in a sector such as health and in the public health sector, this should never happen. we must ensure that as all South Africans, we stand together and say there's a need to rebuild the sector. There's a need to ensure that the ethics of the Hippocratic Oath comes to the fore. We must celebrate those doctors, nurses, cleaners in the health sector who are ready to go to work, and we need to support them.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate such a comprehensive answer with such an off-the-cuff question. And good luck tomorrow with that dialogue, a Women's Day dialogue. Thank you so much. Geraldine Fraser-Moleketi, she, of course, is from the Thabo Mbeki Foundation, speaking there as a former public service and administration minister as well, just commenting on the Nahawu strike. Your business news.